Hi there, for my ASU faculty, I chose Sarah Brownell. Some background information on Sarah was she attended Cornell University from 2000 to 2004 and got her bachelor's in biological sciences and concentrated in neurobiology and behavior. She then went to Scripps Research Institute from 2004 to 2007 and got her master's in biology, and she concentrated in integrative neuroscience. After that, she moved to Stanford University from 2007 to 2011 and got her PhD in biological sciences, and she concentrated in neuroimmunology. She was awarded many awards, one being the National Association of Biology Education Research Award in 2018. She has been a part of the ASU faculty research staff from 2014 to present. Some of her research interests is anything to do with biology, and especially issues related to diversity, inclusion for women, religious students, LGBTQ students, and transfer students. One of her primary research articles was called Who Perceives They Are Smarter? Exploring the influence of student characteristics on student academic self-concept in philosophy. The names of the authors were Caitlin M. Cooper, Anna Craig, and Sarah Brownell. The journal was APS. The title was Advances Physiology Education, and this is on pages 200 to 208. So for this research, the question was, does gender and native language predict a student's success rate? Hypothesis was that native speakers will succeed more than non-native speakers. The predictions were if a student has a higher IQ to start with, then they will succeed more in this experiment. Background information was a student often compares themselves to others, making the learning process harder than it should be. This was tested on 244 students, and the research objective was to make learning biology easier for students, whether they like the subject or not. So for this research, the 244 students took a survey at the beginning of the 7-week trial, asking how comfortable they were with biology and their group mates. The students sat in the same area every day to get familiar with their group mates. The professor would start off the day by using clicker questions as an interactive device for the students. The students first individually thought out the answer and then discussed with their neighbors. The professor would go over any material and ask if the students had any questions. This was repeated during every class period. They met 3 times a week for 50 minutes each. After the 7-week trial, the students were given another survey to ask if they became more comfortable with the material being presented and if their group mates had an impact on their learning. So for the results, 13.4% identified as Asian, 55% as white, 21.8% as Latino or Latina, 4% as African American, and 1% as Indian American or Alaskan American. The average Native American speaker claimed that they were smarter than 66% of the class, and the average non-Native American speaker claimed that they were smarter than 44% of the class. Looking at the graph, you can see that the males consider themselves smarter than the females, and the English students they thought of themselves as smarter than the non-English or non-native speakers. So to take away from this experiment, the data presented supports the hypothesis. Native American speakers considered themselves smarter after this experiment was complete. Overall, the men considered themselves smarter at biology, and they were able to participate more in the group work as they knew more information. The women in the group felt that they were smart, but they also felt that they couldn't voice their answers as well or their opinions. And the non-Native American speakers felt discriminated in certain situations, like when they knew the answer, but they didn't feel comfortable presenting it to their group. Overall, they didn't consider themselves as good at the subject, though, which took away from their confidence. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much.